26 years old, and I'm a two-time cancer survivor. I'm currently living with a genetic cancer disorder called Lynch syndrome, and I'm also living with a brain tumor. It's a grade 2 oligodendroglioma brain tumor. But my story began on September 21st, 2015, at the age of 22. After over a year of symptoms, I was diagnosed with stage 2 colon cancer and underwent an emergency surgery where they removed half of my colon. And then that was followed with chemo to be sure we got rid of it. We soon found out it was genetic and that I had Lynch syndrome that my mom had passed down to me. We believe the gene came from my mom's dad, whose sister had cancer. We never really thought cancer ran in the family. About a year later, after my diagnosis, my mom started to notice concerning symptoms and consulted her doctor right away. She had just caught the very early stages of what would have been an aggressive endometrial cancer. She had a full hysterectomy and everything was fine. Knowing she had Lynch syndrome and her doctor taking it seriously saved her life. On June 18, 2017, I was diagnosed with brain cancer at the age of 24. I had symptoms pretty soon after the colon cancer, but my doctors just figured it was from chemo. When I was diagnosed, the ER doctor just assumed the colon cancer metastasized to my brain and gave me a prognosis of a month left to live, without even doing a biopsy or anything first. July 7th, 2017, I had brain surgery where they placed the shunt to help with swelling and were only able to remove enough of my brain tumor for a biopsy. My brain cancer turned out to be a completely separate Lynch-related cancer. I did 6 weeks of radiation and 7 rounds of chemo. And in December of 2018, I had to have my gallbladder removed due to gallstones, and my gallbladder came back precancerous. I wasn't even going to do the surgery, but thank God I did. Saved my life. And so my brain tumor has shrank significantly, but it's still there, and there's no more they can do to get rid of it. But hopefully with more medical research, they'll find a cure one day. But here I am, almost 2 years later, despite it all. The biggest lesson I've learned from cancer is how important it is to advocate for yourself. And if you can't do it on your own, have someone come and advocate for you. You know your body better than anyone else does. So you need to listen to your body, not your doctor, unfortunately. And I had to fight really hard to get doctors to listen to me. I mean, 22 years old with colon cancer, that's not normal. And so it's okay to ask for someone to help advocate because hospitals don't always take us young people seriously. And unfortunately, we need someone there that's going to help push them to believe that a healthy young adult gets cancer. And now my mom will tell you more about Lynch syndrome.
Thank you. So yeah, she's the one with the real story, but I'm up here. I wanted to let you know I left some pamphlets on the back table. Lynch syndrome, 1 in 279 people in the United States has the Lynch syndrome gene. There's about 6 different mutations. Somebody mentioned a gene mutation, I think you did. But with Lynch syndrome, basically we're missing something that would be kind of like a spell check, where if the cancer gene begins to develop, your body knocks it out. With Lynch syndrome, it doesn't recognize that and allows it to continue developing into cancer. So colon cancer is the most prevalent, endometrial, bladder, brain is on the list. They're actually just now discovering that breast cancer is also, some of the mutations carry a breast cancer risk. So I did not know that I carried this gene. My dad had passed away, not from cancer, but he's gone, so we couldn't check with him. But I know that his sister did die from uterine cancer a long time ago, but it was so far removed that I didn't, when they ask you, do you have a history of cancer in your family, it didn't, it didn't really occur to me that I did. It was so removed from me that imagine how removed it was from my children, because I didn't talk about it much, so they didn't even know. So my point in advocating all of this is share with your family down the generations. Check with the older people in your family. Is there a history of cancer? Had we known, they would have taken her complaining of abdominal pain and issues that she was having. And it goes really back well further than a year. And that's just when she kind of started going in and talking to doctors about it. And they dismissed it with, as trivial things as, go take some X-Lax or gas, it's just gas, So it just wasn't in their thought process. And so that's just, share your family history and the advocating. She was over 18, so I kind of had a hands-off. My kid's over 18. She's got to have, they wouldn't give me any information. She needed to tell them it was okay. And I kick myself every day for not being there for her. Not asking her permission to get involved, because once I did, they took her much more seriously. So anyway, that's if you want any information about Lynch syndrome, it's on the back table. Thank you very much. I want to add, I'm sorry, one more thing I wanted to add. You mentioned research. I think you mentioned research, and it does all go together. Brain cancer is a very specific, it has to pass the blood-brain barrier. Not all medications that are discovered and created for cancers will treat breast cancer. So when you're putting your money and your efforts towards research, remember brain cancer is a very specific need. Things that are discovered for other cancers do not work for brain cancer. So keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephanie and Alton. Like she mentioned,